some people feel that if you teach your children sign language, that they'll never learn to talk. Like maybe if they have a disability or something, and so they use sign language as a way to communicate with the children until they're able to talk. How do you feel about that?
I disagree because I've taught all of my four children, all of my kids know how to sign since birth, and they are great. The oldest three, they're on the honor roll, they've got straight A's. I mean, they picked it up really well. They're very smart. And my son, too, who's one, he's picking up sign now, and he still can talk. I mean, he can say a few words. He's not fluent, obviously, he's one, but I mean, that helped open up their minds. For example, I know that if you use ASL to help, not, that's not the right, let me see how I want to say this, kind of wake up the left side of their brain, because that's the side that's responsible for like reading and visual part like that. I don't know everything
The
about that, but
language, the
yeah, the
language
language.
center.
Right, right. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So I see children who have disabilities who are exposed to ASL, and oh, wow, the world is just open to them. And it's just amazing because that's, what they need, and they see with their eyes, and that opens up that language side, and that you can just see their eyes shine. They're not dull and almost like dead looking inside, like some are.
Do you have any advice that you would give to hearing parents of deaf children? Like, what would you tell them if you could?
Oh yeah. Personally, I think it would be nice if hearing parents, if you have a deaf baby and the hospital tells you, maybe you don't know that they're deaf yet, but the test come back and said, hey, they are deaf, you know, it would, I would just love to have an advocate who could come to the hospital right away and just be there and say, hey, there's so many options available. Not just listen to the doctor. Hey, I suggest cochlear. That's it. But no, because there's so many other options. You can ask questions. You can get a cochlear, but you can get like a cochlear and have ASL as like, assisted language, and then you could put them in a, mainstream school. I mean, or a residential school. There's so many options. But sometimes people say, oh, well, wait until they're young, and then they have a mentor come to teach the child ASL. I mean, that facilitates the communication, yes, but the child misses out. So, and that gets really frustrating for the parents and for the student or the child. And if you can make that decision earlier, whether mainstream or residential, it might kind of ease some of that tension.
Wonderful. Um, do you have any resources that you want to tell people about that would help hearing parents of deaf children?
Mhm. Yes. Feel free just to look through your community, go through your community. I mean, there's so many people who are aware of like a deaf person. Like, oh yeah, I know someone, you can reach out to them. Or, oh, I know an interpreter, maybe you can talk to that person. I mean, that's a great resource. And you can always look on Facebook too. I mean, Facebook has a lot of interpreter agencies, there's lists. I mean, you can type in deaf, and I mean, right there, readily available, so much information. You can just kind of sort through that. We do have like a sign class too. You can reach out to a sign class, um, and they're all over. The Holly Institute, they also have resources that are available for deaf student or deaf children with disabilities, or just disabilities in general. Or, I mean, you can always reach out to them and say, hey, I need more information. Can you give me some resources for this, for ASL or whatever? Oakland schools, Macomb, the city of Macomb, wherever you live, I mean, they always have resources available.